Hey everyone! Welcome to AITA. I hope you enjoy watching the video, and don't forget to subscribe. Now let's start story 1 inch. AITA because I ate early? We're on vacation with my husband's family. We got here Sunday afternoon, and I was hungry. I made food for myself and my son. My husband said to wait for his family, so we could all have dinner together, or maybe even go out. It was around 4 o'clock, and he was saying we'd eat at 7. I said I was hungry, and my son and I ate. After that, the three of us sat by the pool. His family arrived around 6, and everyone was hungry, and wanted to go out to eat. I don't know if it was the traveling or what, but I was exhausted, so I said I was too tired and would go to bed early. My son stayed home with me, because he wasn't hungry and wanted to stay. I woke up early this morning, and I made tea and sat by the pool while my son played. When my sister-in-law woke up, she came out to the pool and told me off for eating early, not going to dinner, and being so standoffish. She said everyone wanted to see me and my son, and I was being such a bitch. I said I was tired from traveling. She said if I forced myself to stay awake, I'd be on the same schedule as everyone else. But since I went to bed early and woke up early, I was going to have the same excuse tonight. She also told me off for not making breakfast when I was the first to wake up, but I didn't know when everyone was going to wake up, and no one wants cold breakfast. She just rolled her eyes and walked away. I feel like everyone's been standoffish to me all morning, and I'm wondering if I should apologize. Was I an asshole? AITA for correcting my stepdaughter's dad when he called me her nanny. I've been with my wife for 8 years now. She has primary custody of her daughter, Santana, 9. Santana sees her dad, Mark, every other weekend and some holidays. As I've been one of Santana's primary caretakers for the past 7 years, since I moved in with her mom, I've taken care of her more than Mark has, and we are quite close. My wife and I went on to have 2 children together, who are now 5 years and 18 months. I've been a stay-at-home dad since the 5-year-old was born. As a result, I'm the one making lunches, driving kids to activities, etc. That includes for Santana. Mark has always felt insecure about my place in Santana's life. I've always encouraged her relationship with her dad, while also been a place she can go to in order to vent about both her parents. I've never asked her to call me dad, but I've made it clear I love her the same as her siblings. And she's also said she loves me and considers me her second dad. Mark also mocks me for my SHE role. My wife always shuts him down, and I just ignore him. He has in the past jokingly called me Santana's nanny, and I just roll my eyes and say whatever you think, Mark. I really don't see him much, as my wife will take Santana to her dad's and pick her up. However, yesterday my wife was sick and asked me to pick up Santana. She really couldn't get out of bed, and I knew Mark wasn't going to drive out to us. He's refused in the past. So, I went over to his place to pick her up. He was throwing a barbecue and had some family there. I had never met any of them. Santana ran into my arms, excited to see me and shouting my name. A few people looked at Mark curiously. He laughed and said that's Santana's nanny. I shook my head and said I'm her stepfather, Greg. Nice to meet you all. Mark turned red and barely said goodbye to Santana. I didn't think much of it outside Mark just being Mark. However, Mark texted my wife later saying I humiliated him, and given I'd likely never see those people again, I shouldn't have said anything. My wife told him he's overreacting, and he then texted me, saying I had no right to correct him in his own home. He asked what was the big deal in his family thinking I'm her nanny? AITA. AITA 4. Pre-gaming. My wife's dinners? My wife and I are both 32. Since we got married and moved in together 5 months ago, my wife has simply not made nearly enough food for me. This is not a kind of situation where I'm constantly agitated at her for incompetence or anything like that. I would be more than happy to microwave a burrito. I would be more than happy to whip up a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but I can't. My wife has, every single night of our marriage, done the same thing. She'll make me a tiny dinner. I'm talking like a Chinese chicken salad with 30 grams of chicken and 10 leaves of lettuce arranged fashionably with dressing. When I finish eating, I'm still hungry because for a 230-pound man who works a physical labor job, it's not enough food. At first, I tried to openly communicate with her, but she always took it horribly. She would adopt a 1,000-yard stare, and then begin talking about how incompetent she is, and how she can't even make her husband a proper dinner. I try to calm her down with, "Oh honey, that's not the case. I just eat too much." Or, "Don't worry about it. I can make a bit more." I try to be overwhelmingly positive. It never helped. She would always just get incredibly disappointed in herself, cry, or take it out on me. Then she would make the same exact amount the following day. After the communication route failed, I tried to eat her dinners as is. It became hard to sleep at night due to hunger, and I lost 7 pounds in the first month. AITA for telling someone that his achievement just meant that he had rich parents. I, 23M, have been with my current company for a year now. Recently, a new guy, Jack, joined our team fresh out of college. Last Friday, my manager invited everyone to a bar after work. There, Jack told everyone about an achievement that he obtained over spring break. He visited his 150th country, Cambodia. In contrast to everyone else, who were asking things such as what was the best/worst/strangest thing you ate, which countries were your favorite, and any cool stories, I just said good for you and went back to my drink. Jack noticed me being quiet and asked me why I wasn't joining in. I said don't worry about me, but Jack kept pressing the issue. I finally said, Jack, visiting 150 countries is cool and all, but it doesn't say anything about you as a person. It just means you had rich parents who could afford to travel internationally several times a year. I grew up poor, literally worked my ass off in high school, got a full-ride merit scholarship, and did everything humanly possible to land my current 6-figure job. Rich people who think they're better than everyone else just because they had rich parents is a huge pet peeve of mine. But my coworkers don't know any of that, since I like to keep work and my personal life as separated as possible. Jack got really quiet after that and left soon afterwards. Now it's Monday morning, and I'm wondering if I should have just kept my mouth shut. AITA for excluding a coworker when I was giving a lift to others? I have a weekend job at a warehouse where most people can't afford cars. They mainly rely on public transit, which isn't reliable when most of us ends our shift. Most of them used to walk 5 miles to the train station or stay at work for a few more hours, unpaid. The train station is literally on the way to my second job and house, so I offer them rides. I drive a F-150, so the truck seats 5 people including myself. 3 to 5 people, including myself, usually clock out at 2 in the morning, so I drive everyone in my shift to the train station. I don't mind, my truck can fit them all, and it's fun to drive with others. But there's this one woman I don't care for that much. She has a reputation for being lazy. While everyone would be working, she's usually in the office or outside speaking with the supervisor who's into her, I think. She also never thanked me or even says please. It's like she's entitled to a free ride. So all of us clock out at 2 a.m. I said out loud the names of the people and said, come with me, I'll drop you guys off at the station. As we're walking outside, she comes up to me and says, can you drop me off? I'll be ready in a few minutes, have to change my shoes. I said sorry, but from now on, I don't want to give you rides anymore. You should ask for a shift change. She got visually upset and talked about how dangerous the streets and how I'm petty for not giving her a ride. I changed my tone and said, enough, it's my truck. You can find your own way home, I'm not the city bus. Caused a bit of a scene, but my coworkers agreed with me, it's my truck. I can choose who to let in.